Hello everyone, welcome! We are back with another set review, Resurgence of Power, technically Opus 18, but that's been scrapped, I assume, at this point.
I still name them Opus.
Yeah, everyone does. Everyone.
It still says Opus on the box.
No, it doesn't anymore.
Everyone who's important still names it Opus, so...
Yeah,
it's
pretty
Opus
much.
18, folks.
It is also Opus 18 on the side.
Yeah, it says on the side of the box,
Yeah.
Opus 18. I'm looking at it right now.
Does the side count?
Yes, it does. It is on the box.
You know what, I disagree, but just because I rather use the Opuses, I'll agree in this case. Bias
Opus 18.
open out. Yeah, bias out to everyone.
Hello
Alright.
everyone, and welcome to the review of the 18th set of the Final Fantasy trading card game.
Or as we know it, Resurgence of Power.
Yay.
What kind of
as we
power is
call it,
resurgent?
Opus 18.
Yeah.
Oh, what happened here?
That's
Oh.
a strong start to the stream, folks.
It's already
Opus
going
Resurgence.
wrong. It's already going wrong. First the issues, and now it's disconnected from the right thing. How do I fix this? No, it's fine. Nope, not that one.
We'll get there when we get there.
Wait, what the hell?
Teething problems.
Okay, let me just turn that one off. Okay. God damn it, made it worse.
We good?
Well, it's got the
Deep
fire
breath,
card
deep
up.
breath.
Alright, so I'll read the fire card up and I'll try and
Sure.
fix the second image. So we're starting off with fire as always. 18-001C. I'll only do that the one time. Achuka, backup. When Achuka enters the field, choose one forward, deal it 8k damage. Dull, choose one forward, deal it 1k damage. Damage 3. If Achuka deals damage to a forward, the damage is increased by 1k. 5 cost.
Well, this card exists.
Yeah.
We-
The only thing I see it is like Faris. Yeah.
we-
If you really need another ping off Faris, it's there. But
We've had this for 8 sets now. It was
Yeah.
called Mutsuki, and she was actually good, you know?
Yeah.
This isn't Mutsuki.
yeah.
Plus,
So, yeah,
if I'm
run
gonna
Mitsuki Pelennor and then maybe this if need be.
have this effect in my deck anyway, I'm gonna run Tifa. She costs 1 more, has the X burst, and deals 9k naturally.
And becomes a forward so you can beat face with her.
I've never really been interested in backups that do that ping, like choose one forward, deal it 1k damage for tapping. Like most of the time, I want to spend my CP on casting cards that are better than that.
And Mitsuki's cheaper, like, yeah.
Yeah, Mitsuki's cheaper and reactivates when
searchable.
something dies.
Yeah.
And is also
Very
searchable by not a 5-cost backup.
Mm-hmm.
Alright, so I'm going to use that second
Moving
screen.
swiftly along.
Yeah, I'm going to use that second screen in a different way when we need to, if we want to compare cards. Till then, we're just looking at one card anyway. 2 cost, False Starwalt, Forward, Brave, 5k. Dull 1 active job, Mannequin. Mannequins are back. False Starwall gains 2k power until end of turn.
Yep, mannequins are back.
So-
and
So, Opus 2 called. They want their cards back.
yeah, like, as a mannequin enjoyer myself, I look at this round of mannequins and I'm like, why are you not good? Like,
Yeah, look, they all seem to kind of be like this one. I guess kind of has the thing of it's not once per turn, but at the same time, they really only exist so now you can play 47 mannequins and 3.
3 of your X death, like.
Yeah, 3 of your X death. Like, it
Oh.
just means now you can fill your deck with mannequins. None of them.
Opus 13 gave us so much promise with that crop of mannequins because it's just like, yay, we got 2 mannequin backups to make X Death cheaper and, you know, and all of this sort of stuff. And then this set rolls around and they're just like, oh, did we make mannequins too strong? Sorry, let's go back to Opus 2 for the mannequins.
Yeah. Like, it's just. And if you wanted to give a mannequin plus 2k, just use the 2-cost Kefka mannequin backup.
Yeah. I mean, yeah.
I think
Yeah.
I think the mannequins make or break whether they all are good together or not. I think like having one or two that are meh, but the rest good enough to work with the others will be what determines all this.
Well, if it's job if it's just job mannequin, then you can tap your backups for it, I guess.
Yeah.
But
Again,
again,
it's also not once per term. So like the direct comparison to the Opus 2 one is, I think, if you have another job mannequin, it gains 2k power, and it's like a 2k, 2 cost 5k.
it's like
Whereas
Also,
this one's like,
also,
I'm the same, except can be higher-ish. But
also, if you don't care about the brave, he's technically a 7k
yeah.
because you
Like
swing
he
with
can at
him.
least attack and block and threaten a bunch of stuff. But
Yeah.
again, he's not the greatest as far as mannequins go.
Yeah,
I
but
would not consider him.
You could also attack with him, dull him to pump himself, and have a proper swinging 7k.
Yeah, that's something
Yeah,
you'll
but why,
do.
why are you
7K
doing
as well.
that?
Yeah.
I'm saying if you don't
It's
care about
something
the
you'll
brave.
do in draft.
Oh, yeah. This is the draft. Yeah. Alright, next one.
That's all.
Alright, so one cost mechanist, there's a whole cycle of these. You pay one, discard the backup from your hand to draw a card. You pay the one of the same color of its cost. Do we want to discuss these now and then skip them later on, or do we want to just move on from this?
So I think it's probably worth discussing them now. I'm from a Magic the Gathering background, so I'm going to call them the cycling backups. These are relevant. Pay attention to them. You will see them.
Well, yeah.
I would like to point out, possibly, we have Althea, Norstellen, and Sarah, 3 best backups in the game. These might contend with them, especially the water one. Like, these are
Yeah.
actually incredible. They are incredible. If
Yeah.
you ever build a deck with 14 backups, put 3 of these in, just make the 17. Doesn't matter.
Yeah, like not only can you just
Or even 12 or 10. Yeah. They're just,
yeah, like
yeah.
That's how
you
I've been
can
building
play
them.
every fix with
That's
these.
how I've been
That's the
using them. That's how I've been using them. They're not part of the 14 or 15 initial.
And no, you're all forgetting something. Searchable by Sid 2. Best backup in the game.
You'd be
do
surprised how relevant that actually is, to be honest.
Yeah,
Like
the fact that
being able to,
yeah.
because
Yeah.
you can now turn your backups into different cards. It's actually pretty phenomenal.
Yeah, it's like pay
It's
2
just
and
nuts.
mill a backup from your deck to draw 1. I'd do that.
I will say, the water one, personally, I think is in the best spot just because of Mog 6. I'm a big fan of Mog 6.
Oh yeah.
Of course, being the party up deck. But yeah, Mog 6 gets away with way too much, and this is just a draw 1. So that the blue version makes Mog, like you can just play mono blue crystals, and Mog 6 just sit there and get away with shit for free.
Also, with
It's pretty good.
any earth shell that has tapped for any color backups, cool. I can use any of these of the X color I'm sharing with Earth.
Yeah, no, that's cherry on top
Yeah.
stuff.
Yeah.
Like, I
No,
can't.
I'm adding.
Let's-
Yeah.
Yeah.
We should all
Let's
kind of just
not mention as well that pretty much every single Earth deck now is going to be, how many colors can I fit into this deck? We'll get to
It's
that.
been like that for 8 sets.
it's
but
been like that since,
Yeah.
since like Shantoto came
Every
out.
every single Earth deck I build, I put 3 Taro, 3 Toto in, and then put 3 Ami in, and get a righto. Now we start building. It doesn't matter what color I'm playing, I can cast Ami, it's in.
Yeah.
Let us begin.
2 cost Cleome, forward, 5k. At the end of each of your turns, place 2 melody counters on Cleome. Remove 1 melody counter. Choose 1 forward, deal at 1k. Remove 1 melody counter. Choose 1 forward against plus 1k power until end of turn.
It feels very vanilla.
How desperate are you for ping?
How can you
Not-
say so
Not in
much
fire.
and do so little?
Yeah.
Like,
I honestly think the plus 1k is more relevant than the 1k thing, because I mean, at the least choose a forward, so it's not limited to your opponent's forward. So once again, if you really fucking want, you can make Faris deal another round of damage. But
That's really the only thing to talk about with the
Yeah.
card.
it's
Yeah.
really stretching.
Oh,
Like-
other than that,
sorry.
the plus by 1k is more important than the pink one.
Oh, sorry. There's one bit of text that's slightly more important. It's at the end of each of your turns, so you can't respond to the counters being placed on.
Oh boy.
Yeah.
Oh.
It's not like I was gonna Brunhilde this during main phase 2 anyway.
But you, yeah, but also you can't respond to the counters being placed on her. But your opponent can then kill her, and you can't respond by using the counters. like that's kind of a like
It's
doesn't
Well, no,
actually
it
do
is.
anything.
It's actually slightly more relevant than that because at the end of each turn, so that means there's no window for your opponent to respond to you putting the counters on. So that means when
Yeah,
it
but
goes
then
to
you
the
can't
next,
spend the counters then either. So
but then
yeah.
you can't. Your opponent can't kill it. So you know.
It is literally a little sister standing in a group of big brothers and sisters that do what it does better.
Pretty much.
Like if this was,
I guess
if-
as well, the buff by 1k lets you. I mean, thinking of Faris again, it lets you actually get off another ping of Faris because it buffs by a k, so you can maybe use both parts of her with Faris. But again,
there are other things
How
that do
desperate
many
are
ways
you
to
for a
ping
ping effect?
Faris.
Yeah.
How desperate are you for this
That being
2+5?
said, if this was in
Yeah.
a color that didn't do this as efficiently as red does, I might have actually rated this.
Yeah.
I still
Yeah,
wouldn't
if
have.
it was a win card, if it's a win
If it was a
card,
win card, it'd probably see play because it's searchable in element, but like other than that, not really.
Yeah, but if it's a win card, it'll cost 1 CP and be a 7k.
No. It'd be a
And
1 cost
also
7k that on enters draw 2.
Yeah, I forgot about that bit. It's got to have the draw
and
a card.
reactivate
No,
all backups.
and activate all your
And activate all
backups. Yeah.
backups.
No.
and then search for a card, why not?
No. At the end of your turn, add 2 melody counters. Remove 1, draw a card. Remove 1, untap your backups. Fixed.
Problem solved.
No.
Add it to 1
It's
CP
just-
7k. John.
Doesn't even lose the counters, just 0.
Yeah.
Anyway,
Yeah,
let's move
0.
on. We've spent far
Activate,
too much.
activate as many backups as you've got melody counters on Cleo.
Yeah.
Ooh, this is my favorite boy. Salamander, 3 cost summon. If you cast Salamander, you may remove 10 fire cards in your break zone from the game as an extra cost. Deal 5k damage to all forwards opponent control. If the extra cost was paid, 7k instead. There's a full cycle of these, and I kind of like all of them, with varying degrees, obviously. But, yeah, I like Salamander. Also, it's a lizard boy.
It's not bad.
Squall says hello.
Yeah, Squall pretty good. You know, this and Squall was basically just you have another few Susanoo. It is split across 2 cards, which does kind of hurt, but you're in fire, you have ways to get summons. Like, you got Moody and Saz to search them from deck, you got Terra to recur them. You can
Also,
get
I
away
just
with
wanna-
those.
I kind of just want to note as well, you're almost never removing the 10 fire cards for this.
Yeah.
I disagree, depending on the fire deck. Samurais would
For
never
lethal,
use
you
it.
are, but you're not.
Like, Samurais would never want to use it, I agree, but I think most other fire decks don't get enough stuff back from Bin to care.
Ooh,
Well,
I
on the
do
same
now.
token as well, like Squall, like if you've got Squall on your deck, you're already dealing the extra 4k regardless. So you're just like, eh.
Yeah, and, you know, there are multiple cards in this set that help, you know, spike it up in power. Trust.
Alright.
It's
Yeah,
you're almost never removing them.
Salamander, though, is also very, very importantly, Fire has so many cards that do this. This is the first summon to do something so dramatic in terms of damage. That could be relevant.
I'd pay that.
Other than that, yeah, card reads well, so yeah, it'll be seen play. Whether it continues to see play, we'll see, because Fire kind of doesn't need it, but if there's a few cards out there that say it doesn't receive damage from forwards, it might
There you
see
go.
play.
You get past them with this.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, I forgot that the program automatically does the full arts. Zell, 4 cost haste. When Zell attacks, choose 1 forward opponent controls. If Zell has 10k power or more, deal it 8k damage. Discard 2 cards. Zell gets plus 3k power until end of turn. It is a base 7k.
Card's bad.
So how desperate are you to make Lava Spider work?
Yeah, pretty much.
I like the haste on it.
No. When Zell attacks, it misses the trigger.
No,
Lava Spider does not work with Zell, does it? Because it's when
No,
Zell
it does.
attacks, he's not
No,
a
no,
10k.
he
No,
is.
'cause it's-
The moment that he declares an attack, his power becomes 10,000.
Plus, it's
I
worded the
guess,
same
yeah,
way.
it's the
It's
result.
worded the
Yeah,
same
yeah.
way as Sephiroth. So it's when it attacks, choose target, then check condition.
What's
Yeah.
So he'll be attacking.
Lava Spider?
Love Spider's the attacking force.
Attacking forward. Oh, okay, yeah,
Yeah,
no,
get
never mind.
pumped.
Never mind.
So it actually does work with Lava
Okay.
Spider, but yes, it's basically how
But, like-
desperate are you to make a Lava Spider work,
Yeah.
and how
And
desperate are you
we
for
could-
an 8k ping on attack?
If
We
you
also got a
unlock-
monster this set that does that better. So
Yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah, if
And
if it wasn't discard 2 cards, if it was almost any other payment or cost, I would consider it. But discarding
then
2
again-
cards to do 8k to do 10k in fire feels bad.
I feel it necessary to point out, why would I pay 8 cost for a 7k with an 8k ping attached when half of it can be responded to by your opponent before he gets a chance to attack?
Yeah.
My thought process is we've got this exact same card in this set, and it's in a different element.
Yes.
Yeah, like when I first read this, I thought this was good, but the more I looked at it when like reading and sorting, I'm just like, I've been reading
Good and
this
sealed,
wrong.
Yeah, it's pretty good and sealed, and that's about it.
Yeah,
Honestly,
it's good and sealed.
Honestly, no word of a lie, in limited, this thing was a house.
Yeah,
Yeah, it's a bomb.
I pulled 3 for my
I had to.
fruitless kit.
And you beat me pretty hard with them, but that's beside the point.
You could
Shall
say
we
he
move it
got
on?
overzealous.
Yeah. Well, yeah. Let's move on before I point out how much Hobby Japan hates Cat 8. But yeah.
Selfie, 4 cost
and then
backup
this comes
EX.
What was that, Ryan?
EX.
Yeah, I know, right?
What was that about heading category 8? Because this card is phenomenal.
Yeah, I was gonna say this was perfect timing. I was gonna defend it when this card came up, and I'm like, oh, here it is. EX Burst. When Selfie enters the field, choose one fire forward in your break zone. Add it to your hand, so it's a 2 cost. Dull. Put Self into the break zone. Choose one fire forward. It gets plus 3k power until end of turn.
I'm going to point out that Selfie is the exception and not the rule. But yeah, this card is a house. Like, why are we giving fire recursion for a card type that doesn't normally get recursion?
Remember that time we just talked
Because
about
Earth
Solomon
can't have
never gonna
everything.
remove the 10 because, fire doesn't recur cards. Yeah, it does now.
Yeah, now it does.
Yeah.
It does now.
Yeah.
Not just that as well. Like Selfie is a backup that can break itself for an actually fantastic effect.
It's
So-
a very relevant effect. And it's EX.
Yeah.
Why is this EX?
Like
EX
I-
for a card, that's pretty relevant.
just
Honestly, I feel like this Selfie will see play in pretty much every single fire deck that's not named Samurai,
yeah,
and
like,
even Samurai might want it.
Yeah, look, you'd find room.
yeah.
You'd probably
Yeah.
find room for 1 or 2.
I
Because
also-
it's
Even
got,
just because
it's
it's
got relevant.
on it.
Yeah, and on the breakable factor, like the fact that you can dull it, use its effect to pump something, play another one, get something else back. Like, the break is important for replayability with cards that don't let you play multiples, so this thing basically just has
it lets you
all the
add
good stuff.
Teens and scions. It lets you loop Scion more. Like,
Yeah, let you get
Samurai's
back your
fine.
10s in
Yeah.
case Gasetsu goes missing,
Yeah. The only thing, like I said, this is week 2 is the graveyard exile, but at that point it doesn't matter.
Yeah.
Yeah, like my girl come good.
Yeah. Kingdom Hearts art pays off.
Here's a question, actually, on the point I was making. If this was just dull, pump, maybe not 3k, I think it would be worse.
I agree with that.
Slightly. But also it'd be something your opponent always has to play around.
It being EX burst still wouldn't make it bad though. If
Yeah.
it wasn't EX burst and didn't break itself, bad. If it didn't break itself, the fact it's EX mean it's a 2 of, not a 3.
Yeah.
Oh, we're up to my monsters. 4 cost 2-headed dragon monster. When a fire forward you control attacks, choose one forward opponent controls, deal it 4k damage. Put the top 2 cards of your deck into your break zone. Until end of turn, 2-headed dragon also becomes a 9k power forward. You can only use this ability once per turn.
So I like that they've tried something new with the monsters. Like every single monster has some sort of obscure activation cost, which is kind of strange. Like they've got either some sort of condition or some sort of obscure cost, and I like they're trying a new design space. I feel like this one is among the strongest of them, though.
Yeah. Ren dominated an entire meta back in Opus 10, and Laswell wins you the game if he untap with him.
Yeah, two-headed dragon is good card. It pretty much made every single fire deck. I don't want to say quite on par with, but it gives the space to experiment with fire cards that aren't samurais.
Yes.
Yeah,
I just now
How
have removal.
Dare you
for-
speak such
on,
blasphemy?
like,
Yeah, I know, right?
I don't need Cyan anymore. Squall
I'll have
kills
you
the
know,
problem.
I love playing Luso and flipping broken cards off the top of my deck.
Also, I would like to note
Good luck with
this. I want to note something. I don't want people to get upset at me. It's just a fact. Cyan gets Amied, Cyan dies. 2-headed dragon gets Amied, Cool, I'll attack with something else, nothing dies.
Or, he's not a forward yet, so...
Well, that's what I meant, like, he's not a forward.
Even if he's not a forward, he doesn't die. Even if he is a forward, he doesn't die to it. It's a 9k.
Yeah, I know, yeah, that's the point.
But
Terror, bro.
So,
Ping,
as
ping.
we were talking about before, Selfie being a must-have in pretty much every fire deck, Two-Headed Dragon, I think, is a must-have in pretty much every fire deck as well.
I feel mono. I don't know.
Well, yeah,
except Samurais. Samurais won't play this.
Yeah, Samurais has enough of this already, so you don't need it.
No.
I'd still run a singleton of this in Samurai.
No, I just want
Just
to make,
one.
I just want to make that joke. I have Two-Headed Dragon out. I have Cyan out. I swing with a forward. Do the damage. Ami, which one? Two-Headed Dragon. Okay.
I'm bad.
And then watch your opponent realize their mistake.
Who would? Why? What?
No, I just want to see.
Yeah,
I just want to be
like,
the one
who
person that's yeah. No, because I used to get that in big Magic tournaments when I'd do something. They'd go, "Which one?" I'm like, "The one that lets me win." And like, "Oh, okay." And I'm like, just that dumb thing of which one? Huh?
Also, like, the cost to activate this being mill 2, I will deck myself out as fast as possible fire deck has one more good thing. I love Dark Lord.
It's also
Anyway.
actually there is another deck this will see playing because you can locals, I guess. Oh yeah.
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 It's just, no,
But locals deck is the 1-cost Ultros put back in deck shuffle. I have had a deck sitting there for ages with the old Xenos and everything in it. Mill yourself to 5 cards. 1-cost Ultros can't miss. You can bot deck all of your opponent's cards for every 2 water CP you have.
Hmm.
You just mill yourself to 5. I was playing it with Vikings as well.
I
So
did it
Vikings,
as well.
all the mill, just get to 5 cards in deck, and just loop the Ultros and then swing with 6 Vikings again.
I
Beautiful.
can't remember. It was someone from my locals. They'll remain unnamed. I done that, kept hitting, and they're like looking at me going, "Wait, how are you hitting every time?" I'm like, "I only have 5 cards left." Like, what? And then I show them the deck, and like, "Oh, I scoop." Like,
Yeah.
Did you not realize that's why I was doing it?
And that's how someone at my locals learned that the Dark Arden is a very bad card, because I'm like, okay, I'll mill myself 20. I'm at 5 cards in deck, I just loop Ultros with Barsboko.
Yep. Oh,
I'll do it.
I miss my old
Anyway.
deck. 4-cost Titus forward 8k haste. When Titus enters the field, put the top 5 cards of your deck into your break zone. When you do so, choose up to 1 forward. If all the cards put into your break zone are of fire element, deal at 8k. Speaking of the devil,
Yeah.
Doesn't this just go straight into that Luso deck of yours?
No, this
Goes
is the
into
worst card to
mine.
get off Luso. No, do not. No. If you turn 1, play Luso, hit this, you lose the game because it is not choose. It is.
Is choose up to 1 forward.
choose up
Yeah,
to
choose up
1.
to
You
1.
can miss.
Yeah. So you have to mill 5 off the play of this. It is not worth it. There is so many better cards. No, don't play this in Luso.
But I will say, there is actually... While I will agree that, yeah, this doesn't, like, make the cut in Luso, there is one thing worse to hit off of Luso, and that's another Luso.
Or Ami.
Yeah.
Or an Ami,
Or
or,
an
a
Ami.
Kadaj, or, like...
Brynhilda.
Yeah, No, you don't
Technically,
want Brynhilda.
technically,
Brynhilda in.
technically
No.
Two-Headed Dragon
Yeah.
now.
Luso, no.
Technically Two-Headed Dragon now as well.
No, it's a character.
My character.
It's a character.
Is it character on Luso? I thought it was forward.
Two-Headed Dragon is a
Oh,
character.
no, right, it's
No,
character.
no, it's
Yeah,
character.
character. No, ignore me.
Why else
ignore
do you
me.
think I was playing your Dolus in my Nats build?
No,
Anyway,
that's right. That's right, because I was playing backups off it before. Yeah, no,
Yeah,
brain
but-
fart.
Whoops.
I digress. This is like a return back to, like, if Luso is one end of the spectrum of hyper-aggressive fire, this is like one notch off of that, where you'll play it like a bunch of random hasters and just swing for the fences. This thing is a great tempo piece. Just to say, oh, I'll mill 5, I'm going to win anyway.
Yeah, like, it's a good, I just need a haster, it's a decent body, I don't care about what I mill because it doesn't matter anymore. If I happen to kill something, even better.
Luso, Mono Fire should also never really be in the point where milling out is a threat.
Yeah.
Yeah. If
I'm
you
also
deck out,
kind of-
you're losing.
Its downside isn't a downside, but it's also... It has its place. I don't think it's in Luso, because...
I've got here's a question of philosophy for you guys. Why is this Tidus a hero when the Zell are common?
Well, here's the reason why. It's because Tidus is infinitely better than Zell. Plus, it's Kingdom Hearts art. I love Kingdom Hearts art.
It's an Opus 10 card.
Category, yeah.
Okay.
Category 10. Alright. We got up 3.
It's just one of those things. I know they just seem incredibly similar from my perspective, and it's just
At
like,
least it's not a Guardian.
yeah,
3. Yeah, we'll move on. Anything else, or do we want to move on?
moving on.
3-cost Berserker. First strike 8k. Berserker must attack once per turn if possible. When Berserker enters the field, you may pay 1 fire. When you do so, choose 1 forward. It gains, if possible, this forward must block till end of turn. Limited card, or do you guys see potential here?
It's a limited card, but this is the funniest thing about this card is that this is the best Berserker we've ever seen.
Yes,
And
I
it's
will
still
say that.
incredibly
And it's
awful.
Still pretty garbage. Like, I mean, 3-drop 8k first strike, that seems like a really nice stat line, but the forced attack is just
I mean, there is, again, fun things. Please take it as with a grain of salt. I'm not saying it's good.
Yeah, like this could be fun for like.
There
some
is the
shenanigans
possibility, okay, you attack, you pay the fire, choose a forward your opponent controls, it must block.
But
Whatever
it's an
happens
ETB
with
trigger,
that
not an
combat,
attack trigger.
that's fine.
No, it's no. I like. No, do you know
yeah,
why
sorry,
I like?
yeah.
Do you know why I like it
Yeah.
as an ETB trigger? Do you want to know why I like it as an ETB trigger?
Squall, yes.
Squall. Thank you. Yeah, that's the only time I can see
What?
this useful.
What do you think we were doing when Squall first came out? We're playing the sync from Opus 3 that forces something to block.
Yeah.
Yes, my Mono Fire list had sync because I'm like, fuck this, Squall's getting blocked.
Squall's getting blocked. I am 8k on your board.
Beautiful. But yeah, Squall makes this card kind of cute, but it
Yeah.
Samurais just do that, so probably don't worry about it.
It's searchable off of Sildra, best card in the game.
Alright, well,
Yeah.
this next card is going to have all the puns. 6-cost Pain EX forward 9k. EX Burst. When Pain enters the field, choose 1 forward, deal it 7k damage. If it is multi-elemental forward, deal it 10k instead. If damage forward opponent controls is put from field into break zone, remove it from the game instead. Oh.
Well, yeah, Pain is right. That's all I feel when I read this. Horrible.
Yeah.
It's so close, but so far.
Yeah, I will say that second line of text, if a damage forward is put in a break, remove from game, that's the only thing that made me go, oh, I'll reread it, but nah, it's still bad.
My problem is like, if this were a 5-cost, yes.
But it's a
'Cause,
6-cost.
You flip it off of the Stale, it feels good. You flip it off of Salteus, it feels incredible.
Hey, actually, something, batting for this card, just because I'm a Cat 10 fan.
Yeah, you can play it off of that one unit from Opus 6.
Yeah, but Luso flipping this isn't awful late game, but nah, I'm yeah.
The only thing that's got some decent amount of upside is that it actually kills Barret.
Yeah.
Like, the fact that it bumps the damage up to 10k if it hits a multi-element is actually pretty relevant.
That's what I was going to say.
And especially in a multi-element set, but I'm not paying 6 CP to kill a Barret when I can do that for like 3.
Yeah. It
Go for
killed.
one.
But it RFGs the Barret. That's also
Yeah, the important part is
That is
removing
relevant
it.
too.
Yeah.
So
There's an
I
argument
think-
to be had for a bad card. Is pretty much the best way.
Yeah.
I don't think it'll see play, but if someone drops one against me, I'll be like, you know what?
Yeah,
I'll
Okay.
just see it.
I
Yeah.
think this will come down to whether multi-element becomes more prevalent or not, which I can't
It's
see
going to be.
happening now.
Trust.
But yeah,
It definitely is.
Absolutely, there'll be a lot more multi-element
so
going around.
then maybe this will start seeing some love at that point,
Nah.
depending on the setup. I think
It's more efficient removal in every card.
Hmm.
The fact
That's
it's Gull Wings or 10, I mean, the Fire Water Guardians list I had floating around.
You probably take a 1 off, and then you won't
Yeah,
feel good about
it's
it.
Cat 10, so it gives Waka a counter, so there's that. It also reduces Light Titus's cost by 1, so but every Cat 10 does that, so
well, I just
Eh.
I just like the EX, but like I just like the EX fact of this.
EX 7K is not.
EX7K is
7
like
to
pretty
10.
bad right now.
Well, no,
Oh,
It's not.
Well,
it's never
yeah.
a 10.
It's
never
almost
a 10.
never. Basically, you're paying 3 CP for a 9k forward.
Oh no, I'm talking about if multi-element becomes prevalent, then the 10k will become more than the 7.
Multi-element won't be more prevalent than.
Well, I mean, let's be fair.
That's what I was
this
saying.
becomes
If you're teching this into decks to deal with multi-element cards, then there's something that's gone wrong in the deck building process. To be honest,
that's what I was saying. If multi-element becomes one of the big deck or a bunch of decks that have like a high ratio of them, that's the only time this might be paid attention to.
Even then, though, you've still got 3 Ami, like, because you're definitely playing red. If you're playing red, you've got 3 Ami.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah.
Like, I don't see it very.
not very common.
it's
There's
It's
cute
a great
things that
effect.
can do, but nothing that is relevant.
it'd be a great effect if it costs 1 less. We'll just leave it at that.
Yeah. 3 cost Faris, forward 7k. When Faris enters the field or attacks, deal 1k damage to all forwards. When Faris or a job warrior of light forward you control is dealt damage, choose up to 1 forward opponent controls, deal it 3k damage. Damage 3 trigger. When Faris enters the field, you may search for 1 job warrior of light other than the card named Faris. Add it to your hand. I love this card. I don't care. I don't care what people say. I love this thing. I'm going to break
Hey,
it over
Mama
my
Luma,
knee.
how you doing?
Yes, Mother Luma herself is back with what is quite possibly the worst name clash for a Warrior of Light deck I've ever seen.
For good reason, though. I will
Well,
say
yeah,
that.
if this even Warrior of Light would have been a better name for this, so I could play it alongside the Faris and just win games.
Yeah.
But as it stands, this is good in mono fire. Like, you have Luna, you have Onion Knight.
I mean, yeah, it's fine in monofire. Also, Megisa loves it,
Yeah,
but there is
like,
also because it's Cat 5, so Water Fire Warrior of Light, like Sildra turn 1, go grab it, so you have your wing con on board immediately. Like, it's just everything.
the problem therein lies in the fact that the multi-element Faris is also searchable by the same token.
Yeah, which you just don't play over this one.
No, you do.
Or because
Cost reduction's too important.
Or because you do have
Over.
Sildra and you can search, you can tech and mix and match between the two. Because if you're
Yes.
searching, then you don't care having 2 in the deck.
So
Firewind,
I
searchable
actually
doesn't
see
touch
this
it.
from a slightly different perspective. I see this as if you don't want to run Water Fire as your Warrior of Light deck, you can go Fire Earth,
Yep,
and you
that's
can
where I'm
actually
going.
use Pelennor to do an instant speed 1k ping.
Which also being Fire Earth lets you actually play Sildra. So
Yeah, you can still play the Sildra.
Yeah.
there's
But therein lies the problem. You can also just still play the Faris, like the other Faris.
Yeah,
like,
it's
they
just so
love the old
stupid.
Faris too much.
Yeah, I know. The other Faris is good. Unfortunately, yes, Name Clash does hurt it, but this, I think, in 99% of occasions, this wins.
I think it
over
comes
the
down to
multi-
what you're trying to do. I think it just comes down
That
to
being
what you're
said,
trying to
however, Fire Wind Warrior Elites really like this because King Tycoon searches it.
And Bart's Crystal, Fire, Water,
Yeah.
Fire, Wind. There's a loop you can do with Soul that pretty much means once per turn you get to res a Warrior of Light for free that restacks your board. It's
Oh yeah, I forgot that Soul was a Warrior of Light too. Yeah, that's
Yes,
another reason
yes,
to play
he
it on
is.
Modifier.
do. Yeah.
Yep.
You can go Aegis, Soul, pay a crystal, play the Barts, gain all the crystals in the world, drop Faris, and deal 1k to your entire board and watch your opponent.
Mhm.
Firewind is
yeah.
where this will be, but
Yes.
I do want to muck around with Firewater
Yeah.
because Sildra searching it's great.
It's
Yeah,
like,
I want people to prove me wrong on this, by the way. This card just is so good.
oh, don't get me wrong. I'm on your side. I love the Fire Water one, but I think this one. I think again, it just comes down to what you're trying to do. And Bloodfist was right. Like, I think we all agree that this opens it up to Faris being used in outside of Water Fire.
Yep.
Which I can appreciate.
Yeah, like, I think I got 7 ideas of what I want to do with this, and I've picked the one that won't work because it's funny.
The problem is, I also have 7 ideas, and all of them involve searching Lunas.
Well, our next
Mono
card.
Fire
It also
cards.
lets you search for Soul.
Yes, and Onion Knight.
Yes, and Onion Knight, yes.
We could search for a soul.
2 cost Fang, forward 5k. If you control 3 or more category 13 characters, the category 13 forwards you control get plus 2k power. 0, pay 0. During your turn, the cost required to cast your next category 13 forward is reduced by 2. It cannot become 0. You can only use this ability once during your turn. Only during your
Absolutely
turn,
awful.
sorry. Multiple. No. Yeah, once during your turn and only once. Yep.
Yeah,
So let's
Next.
just save the review of this card until the Opus 13 custom
The
starter
Cat
kit
13
comes out,
starter.
and then we'll come back and review this card. For now, let's just move on.
Yeah,
Well, for now, I
even
can
then-
say, but if you close your eyes, it's just Beatrix, but the same.
I'm going to say almost every 13 card in this set is going to be, we need to wait till the next list.
Probably.
Oh, but this one I can kind of comfortably say it's in the wrong color.
Then it shouldn't have been a Fang.
Well,
Yeah,
yeah,
it shouldn't have been in fire.
that's
just
all I'm
make it
saying.
an ice. Very
Yeah.
good, very good.
2-cost Meath, EX Burst, backup. When Meath enters the field, you may discard one multi-element card. If you do so, search for one card other than a backup and add it to your hand. More searches for
I'm mad.
Avalanche.
I'm mad. No, but man, I mean Avalanche, yeah, but also they finally did it. They finally effed up. They printed a fire card with search for a card in its text.
Yep.
What? Why? What?
And it's a burst
Like-
for some reason.
Like, even if it was search for one forward,
That would
still,
still be pretty
no,
good.
fire doesn't need it. But search for a card? What?
Yeah, like I will
Let
gladly.
me just discard this extra copy of, I don't
Yeah.
know, something. Maybe I
Well, I
don't need
mean-
another Tifa because I've already got Cloud. Actually, let me put Tifa in the bin so I can get it back with my Cloud, and then go get an
Monofire.
Amaterasu.
No.
Monofire
This-
Megisa is
Oh yeah, just,
going
just
to be
itch.
a deck this set because you have Braska discarding summons, pinging your Megisa. You can drop Meath to discard Axta, which is a Megisa target, Bash, which is a Megisa target, and you the
Yudzuki.
other one. Yeah,
Yudzuki.
Yutsuki. Like you. What? Why?
You're,
Why?
you're thinking too small. You discard your Tifa to search for anything, then discard your backup Avalanche operative to Barrett to get back that Tifa. So essentially, you discard a backup to search for anything. That's
I
not a
think
backup.
Avalanche is possibly the only deck that this card.
Yeah,
mean,
like
it
despite
helps,
having
but-
all the multi-element, you're not going to
but-
run it there because you don't want fire.
Avalanche, yeah, Avalanche is already where it needs to be. Like, I
Even
wouldn't
more so
be surprised to
nowadays.
see it in Avalanche, but to me, it doesn't buff Avalanche because every backup that you're running in Avalanche searches for Baron.
Yeah,
Yeah.
but the
And
reason
it's
why
also
Never
going
not
to be
doing
an up.
Baron.
the
If
reason
we sort of put the review on spoiler alert for a second, every single backup you're running in Avalanche is going to be Avalanche anyway. So
yeah, but the thing
Search it.
the thing I like about this is EX burst it to do that trick on your opponent's turn as well.
It adds Ami, but it does that to every other fire deck. So yeah, I'm not saying it doesn't fit in Avalanche, but my list probably won't have it, but I won't be shocked or anything that other people have it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I just think it helps fire, but just because a fire card that says search for a card, I'm
Is
I'm
dangerous.
baffled.
Yeah.
Why? Why?
Fire.
And then
now,
we also
Fire
got
has-
Bash. Like, why? What? Why? What are you doing? No
It's-
please.
it's specifically to break your brain.
Yeah, like
Well, yeah,
it's
clearly.
it's a combo searcher in Fire,
Well,
and we just had a Pharos, which is technically part of a combo,
and I'd also like to point out this is just FFCC.
which can be
Yes.
searched.
Yeah.
So
Yes.
North Stalin can find it too.
Yeah.
If someone goes and gets it.
Yep.
Let's
Luckily,
move.
there's no good fire wind cut.
Let's just move it on quickly before Kanagawa's
we
brain keeps
drool
breaking.
drool any more over our
Yeah,
keyboards.
Nah. Speak for yourself.
I'm drooling from an aneurysm. Like, I
Yeah,
can't
pretty
believe
much.
it. I just can't.
It hurts him.
If you put it in slow mo, you can see the moment his heart breaks. 7-cost Ramzar, Warp 2. I'm gonna go through Warp just this once. When you play something for its Warp cost, you put it into exile with the number of counters on it equal to the Warp number. At the start of your turn, you remove up-tap, draw start of your main phase 1, remove a counter. When all counters have been removed, you get to play the card onto the field. The Warp ability can be ammied. The Enter the Field ability can be ammied. When it enters the field and you ammy it, it stays in exile. I think that covers all the main rules talk about that, I believe.
You basically you can Amaterasu its attempt to enter the field.
Yes.
And you can also Leviathan. It still counts as an ability from a forward.
Correct.
When
On
Rams...
that note, this is probably one of the stronger warp cards.
We'll talk about that later.
Yeah, we'll get to the good ones, don't worry.
When Ramza enters the field,
Yeah.
choose one job knight of cost 5 or less in your break zone, play it onto the field. Dull for active job knights, choose one forward opponent controls, break it. Ramza deals damage to your opponent. Deals your opponent 1 point of damage, 9k.
Hear me out. Hear me out. If this card doesn't bring knights into the limelight, then
Nothing will.
Nothing will.
Garland couldn't.
Garland couldn't,
Garland
and he
is
was
still
like,
too fair.
yeah.
This point. I love this card. There is also a really fun thing you can do. If you're going second, you can pay 8, drop Ramza, res Gawain, search for Beatrix Garland, play Beatrix, reduce cost, drop Garland. You have 4 knights on the field ready to go.
Yes.
But that's about it.
You also have no
no.
backups in play and no answer to Shintoto.
Correct.
Yeah, but you also go
Correct.
dull 4, break something, deal them a damage.
Yeah. But
It's about something
that
for
it doesn't. Yeah. Nah. It's,
I'll be honest, I like the card and I think it might do... I think Knights might be something we see. Whether it breaks through that barrier between fun and really good to the, you know, seeing it in top 8s, I don't know.
So
again, I
also,
did say before. Sorry, you go, Matt.
Yeah. So I'm also thinking from the perspective of like Beatrix first, so you can actually just play this as a 5 cost.
Yes.
Oh yeah, late game,
Right.
but you know.
And there's also
Even early.
that Water Fire Knight. Pay 4 to search
Yeah.
for 2 knights.
Yeah, it's Gawain.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's
Oh, Gawain, that was Gawain, you did mention it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I will say though, with what I was saying before the stream started as to why I don't think knights can make that gap. It's kind of shit. Where am I going? If you want to run the correct knight suite, it takes too many deck spots to be able to run 3 Susanoo, 3 Ami, 3 Leviathan, 3 Squall. Like it takes away. Like Rams is fine. I think knights are in a fine spot, but if you're building knights properly, you are then sacrificing the good cards. So, yeah.
I wish all the good knights weren't in fire water, then we wouldn't have this problem.
Yes,
And
exactly.
ice. And
Or
ice.
At which point,
The problem is, in ice, you have a better card named Ron.
There you go.
yeah.
You know.
You do.
There is a saving grace for this as well. It also plays Agrius from Break Zone.
Yeah, this plays Agrius from break, and
It-
then she goes nuts with value.
Yeah.
Yes.
But in Fire
Agrius
Ice, you'd
makes
rather
this
run
card
the 2
okay.
cost.
But
So-
again, if your opponent Ami's Ramza, you lose. Like you just can't win.
All right, brainwave for a moment, guys. What if with this Ramza you're playing the wrong Garland? What if you play the Opus 6 Garland? That way all your knights gain brave and you can start digging in, and then if your opponent tries to do something, you kill them.
Yep.
Because
That's what I'm playing with.
the other Garland.
The other Garland, if you're saying that the other Garland is too fair, only because they...
No. It's only too fair, as in, it's still it's still a really good card, but it takes a turn to do it. Whereas the other Garland, like giving something brave, it's your opponent just kills it. Like it doesn't affect the current board state. Like okay,
Well, it gives your entire field brave.
yeah.
Provided you have the princess in play, which you probably will.
You'll
Yeah, you
definitely have
You
the
should.
princess, because your entire backup line is princesses.
My
What's
thing
what's her
is-
name? Sarah into...
Sarah into Avelia,
Avelia.
Sarah into Princess Sarah.
I mean, I will also point out though, if you're playing this deck, if you're running the correct amount of knights, you are playing like at least 7 Garlands.
Yeah.
Like
Because
Yeah.
you just want to
you've
flare
got
people.
3
as
of
much
the
as
4
possible.
Goss. Yes, yeah. And then you have 1 or 2 of those. So that I think this card makes it probably worth running the Opus 6 one as the S fodder for the other one more than the other Garlands. But
I think
yeah, he's still S fodder.
I think
Yeah.
my build had 3 of the break backup one, 2 of the Opus 6 one. I think I went to 5 just because as you said, and I will accept that this deck eats up a lot of slots of the really good consistent fire and water stuff.
And on top of that, this gives you an excuse to run Legend of Elia. Rezzing this off of Protect is kind of nutty.
Yeah.
That's a bit
I
of
think-
comedy right there.
Yeah, I think this is the kind of card though that if you see this and Ovelia up, and cards in your opponent's hand,
You just never do
you just
anything.
assess the situation and go, it's not worth the risk.
Yeah.
So I don't think you'll ever resolve the Ovelia, but if you
The threat of power has power.
Yes. Exactly.
And with 50% with 50% of the colored cycle having a counter auto ability now.
Mhm.
Yeah. Let's quickly move this one on.
Yeah, let's move
2
on.
cost Lulu, backup. Tap, dull, discard 1 card. Choose 1 forward, deal it 3k damage. If it's a multi-element forward, deal it 5k damage.
Next.
So bad. Next, go on.
We already had this. It was called Sky Soldier, and it's all no play.
Yeah, the only thing
The only thing is it's a 2-cost Guardian backup, which we already have.
Yeah, we
with the
already
other
have.
Lulu. It is better because
Yeah,
you're
it's a
playing
card named
Water
Lulu
Fire,
already.
more than 7, you sack, draw a card. Like, what is that? Yeah.
Yeah, like,
Yeah.
Wait,
Let's
question. Can this tap for all 3 colors with the Philo?
No, because it's a Guardian, not a Sky Pirate.
Yeah.
Oh,
Let's
okay,
move on.
that's what I was trying to remember. Yeah.
That's the Vaughn you're thinking of.
Yeah, that's
Fine,
fine.
that's right, yep. 5 cost Rain, forward 9k. If you don't control any forwards, the cost required to cast Rain is reduced by 2. Damage 3, Rain gets plus 1k power, and when Rain attacks, choose 1 forward, deal it 5k damage. It's a knight!
Uh-huh.
No.
You're only doing that
if
in
you're
limited.
justifying playing this rain because it's a night, why aren't you playing the light rain?
Yeah.
Next.
It's just pretty bad.
Alright, I'll go back just quickly. That is the end of Fire. Do we want to say anything to wrap it up in this case?
Fire
Fire
got a lot.
continues to
Fire's
be good.
Fire, yep. I
Fire
think there's
always-
like 4 bad fire cards. The rest are keep an eye on. 3 of them are
Very
just
least.
auto includes.
Yeah.
Like, yeah.
Fire generally gets a lot of toys in like all of the recent sets, but they did get a lot of toys for a large variety of decks in this set. So,
This helps to make all of
hey,
your
so-
already good fire cards even better.
Yeah.
so yeah, pay close attention to fire cards.
Mm.